guys, I am making some Halloween Happy Mail today. I'm going to start with my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and I'm showing you there that I'm going to be making a 4x6 size envelope. So to start, I'm going to cut down my papers, and then I'm going to use my envelope punch board to score the lines and punch the notches for each envelope. Green paper here is my absolute favorite. If you guys have not checked out my stash for this month, go and check out that video, and I talk about all the different papers and supplies that I'm using and where they're from, if you're interested. Whenever I put my envelopes together, I always use wet glue. I have used tape runners in the past, and what I've found is that they don't always hold. I know there are a bunch of tape runners out there that are really great. I know there's a Tombow Extreme adhesive that's really good, but I just always feel a lot better using wet glue. So I'm gluing down the sides to the bottom flap of the envelope, and then once I get that down, I cut from where they meet on each side to make it look like an envelope that you would purchase in the store. I just like the look of this a lot better. I don't like the middle or the bottom flap sticking up with that triangle. In my mind as well, it also makes it easier to kind of reach down and grab things out of the envelope depending on which size and shape you make it. So just folding these up here before I start to decorate them. So here comes the fun part. I'm going to gather up all of my journaling cards and cut-aparts and little bits and pieces from my stash that I can use to decorate these. I really love using labels and cut-aparts on my envelopes to create a place where you can address the envelope. And so that's what I'm doing here. I've got quite a few of these cutouts from all the different collections that I'm using this year. And you'll notice even that one that says spooky that's got lines, you know, I think for most people they'd use that as a journaling spot in a project's life or within their journal or on a scrapbook page, but I'm going to use it here to address this envelope. You'll also see one down there underneath the Hocus Pocus. It's got little eyeballs, and that's actually meant to be a planner checklist. I love using planner checklist stickers to address my envelopes. I use them all the time because I don't do any planning, so this is the perfect project to use those up. If you're not a planner, but you happen to have a bunch of them in your sticker packs or just in your cut-aparts or your project life cards. So now I'm just going to start kind of matching them up to figure out which envelope looks best with each one. Now remember, because you're sending these through the mail, you want to keep it as flat as possible, so I don't use any foam on this project whatsoever. And again, you want to make sure they stick down really well. So I like to use a wet glue or a wet adhesive unless something is already sticky on the back like a sticker. So if I'm pulling stickers and adding them to the envelopes, I don't add any extra adhesive, but these journaling cards and these labels for sure are going to get some wet adhesive. I'm not going to use any kind of tape runner for these. Now once I've kind of settled on the labels or the cards that I want to use to address this, I'm just going to start adding some decorative elements. So I'm going to add quite a bit of washi tape. I am going to layer on some stickers or cut-aparts, and again, keeping this relatively flat. And then once I've got the front of these done, I'm going to flip them over and add a place to the back flap of the envelope where I can put my own address. I know some people like to put it up in the top left-hand corner, and you can do that as well, but I like to use as much room as possible on the front of the envelope for decorating. So I always put my address on the back, and this is a great place to use any of those little teeny tiny journaling spots that you get in maybe 6x6 or 8x8 paper packs, any of those little cut aparts, or again, any little stickers that might be more planner related. This would be a great place to use those to put your own address, since it doesn't need to be as large and as prominent. You may also notice that some of the cut aparts that I have look like little stamps, and I am going to use that on the front of each of my envelopes to decorate it and give it a more mail, appearance. But keep in mind though that I do leave space to put a real stamp to the right in the upper right hand corner. And also keep in mind that you never ever ever want to try and pass off decorative stamps as real stamps. You always want to make sure that you include a real stamp. Now, there is a long-standing tradition of art stamps, and people have been doing that for years, and I highly encourage you to do that because it is fun to create those, but make sure that you're never ever ever trying to pass them off as the real thing. Always include a real stamp. Where I like them on the envelopes, I'm going to start layering up some decorative elements to kind of change up the look of some of these cards. So for example, on the bottom right hand envelope where it says "Do you believe in magic?" I do end up covering that up with a bit of a bow. I did like the card as it was, but I just didn't like how it looked on this envelope. It was a bit kind of plain, since the envelope itself has more of a geometric pattern, and so I wanted to add a few things to make it look a bit more girly. So I end up adding a bow tie and then one of the cutouts from the Hocus Pocus collection, one of the little witches that goes along with that collection. You'll see she ends up on there. And I end up layering a lot of stickers. I have so many stickers in my stash that I really wanted to use up. These banner stickers in particular, I have had them forever. They have silver glitter on them instead of gold, and most of the items that I have are gold, but I figured since the spiderweb on this envelope was in silver that would be a perfect place to use them. So I'm adding them on there. Guys enjoyed this video today and that it inspires you to create some Halloween happy mail of your own. Definitely come back and check out the rest of my October Craftoween series this month for some more inspiration on some paper crafting and some home decor and some just general silliness. I'll see you guys in the next video.